Record the class. Yeah. Hello students, welcome back to another session of physics. We are we are now going to start the first chapter of, the second chapter of physics, which is presented in here in the form of headings like this. For the second chapter is setup has got some issues. This is what we are going to study under this heading of units and measurements, right? And what is that I have mentioned here? In this chapter of units and measures, I'm going to brief up the things, what do you mean by units and what are measurement. What are some videos I have provided? Those videos I'm just going to brief up. And some of you know some concepts behind this and some of you don't know any concepts behind this. Accordingly, how to understand these things is that we are going to check. Just wait a while. 1 second, be online for a while. Yeah. Now I think hopefully this is fine now because there are some little adjustment needed. See, you are all unaware of many things actually. There was some setup I made earlier that was now removed. I need to do this setup again. Accordingly, I'm finding a little difficulties. Fine. You can able to see this right now. It is clear, right? Audible or video and audio both are clear, right? Yes. Yeah. I'll attend everything later after the class. Just let us just brief up. Let me just brief up what I have to do. Concentrate now. Stop typing and concentrate. Stop typing. Stop typing, yaar. Oh, okay. Do you all have that PDF note study with you in front of you? Ulojo. How many of you are not getting video? Oh, yaar. Lot of disturbances. Do you all have PDF notes with you, right? You all have PDF notes? Yeah. Fine. That's fine. Just concentrate. You can refer when I'm teaching something here. You can refer in that PDF flex so that you'll understand what is sir is trying to tell. Now, let me just brief up. What do you mean by units and measurement? Units and measurement. First of all, what is measurement? Under this branch of physics named as mechanics, we deal with two cases, kinematics and dynamics, which we are going to start in the next step. Before that, we are first talking about the basic thing of understanding how are we measuring the things, measurement. And we have already defined that in a way that what? Measurement is the comparison of one body with respect to the standard notation. Measurement is what? Measurement is a comparison of the magnitude of that body, maybe in terms of lengthwise, maybe in terms of some other thing. You're actually comparing the dimension of that body with respect to the standard thing. When you measure something, you should have some standard forms. How much this one is? How much this one is? Maybe 15 centimeters. How can I say this is 15 centimeters? By using a scale, I can measure that and I can say that it is 15 centimeters. When you are using a scale and measuring, what is it we are doing actually? We are comparing this thing. Yeah. We are comparing this material's dimension with respect to the standard form, and that is what we call it as measurement. Measuring something. Measuring, we do measure many things in our day-to-day life. Yes or no? Clearly. We do measure many things. We measure our heights, we measure our weights. We get quantities to our house by measurements only. We get milk, we get sugar, we get salt. We do many things by using measurement phenomena only. Whether you buy, eat, sleep, whatever you do, we keep on measuring. So accordingly, we are now saying that measurement is actually the comparison of one body with respect to the standard body. Comparison of one body with respect to the standard body. In that way, measurement it is. And when you measure anything, what does it actually do? If I measure this, I get some numerical value called as 15. If I measure something, I'll get something in the form of Like let me say, to my house, I get a milk of 1. To my house, I get a milk of 1. Means I am talking something about milk which is 1. What is 1? What should be 1? 1 is the magnitude. What is this 1 called as? 1 is called as magnitude. And any measured value is always expressed by magnitude followed by units. Unit should be there when you measure something. When you measure something, unit should be definitely there. Without unit, remember always, knowing physics is different. Knowing that concept is different. Measurement is known to everyone. Even kids also know this measurement, right? Newly born kids also knows this measurement, because when they are little grown up, if you give some chocolate, if you give 1 chocolate, if you give 10 chocolate, they take 10 chocolates. Means they are comparing which is big, which is small. Comparison is nothing but bigger and small. Accordingly, they take. But listen always. When you measure any physical quantity when measured should always be expressed with a magnitude followed by the respective units. What is respective unit? Units means that is what we say system of units. When you measure something, you should express that in terms of appropriate units. There were many systems present in this world or in this physics mechanisms. The common systems what we know earlier were CGS, MKS, FPS, or this MKS has been modified to one more system called as SI system. Or these are different system of units. In this different system of units, we again make use of quantity. Quantity is measured. Listen, quantity is measured. Quantity is expressed in terms of magnitude. Which quantity? Every time physical quantity. Because we say physics, it is physical quantity. Everything in the universe is a physical quantity. Quantity is measured. Quantity is expressed in terms of magnitude. And merely saying magnitude is not sufficient. It should be always followed by the appropriate units. There are many system of units, and the entire thing, the standard system what we follow is SI system. Once we know one form of system, MKS or SI, we can convert from one form of system to the other form of system by using suitable conversion factors. And like that, we say that every physical quantity, first point, every physical quantity is, when measured, will be having some magnitude followed by the respective unit. Now, continuation of this. If to my house I get a milk of 1, I should say appropriately liters. 1 is the magnitude, liter is the unit. We go to shop, we buy sugar, we say, uncle, give me 1 sugar. What will he give you? He can't give us anything. Appropriately, what that you should now say? You should say 1 kg of sugar. 1 is the magnitude, kg is the unit. This is the basic outline. This is the basic outline of how we express a measured physical quantity. We are now trying to measure with different kind of things, but what is that when we measure something? When we measure something, we should say it is going to have some numerical number called as magnitude, which is always followed by the appropriate units. Now I say Mahesh Babu is 6. What is that Mahesh Babu is 6? Hopefully you all know Mahesh Babu. Anybody here who don't know Mahesh Babu? Right. If I say 6, hero, right? If I say 6, it makes no sense. Is it 6 centimeters, 6 millimeter, 6 inches, 6 feet? Accordingly, appropriate unit it has to be. If I cannot simply say that Mahesh Babu or Prabhas is 6. I should say what exactly it is. Accordingly, this is a basic thing. What is that? When any measured physical quantity should always be expressed in terms of magnitude followed by the appropriate units. This is what the brief up of what do you mean by measurement. What do you mean by measurement? Now, Secondly, second point, this is the first point, what the briefing up of measurement. Now basic definition is clear. How are we expressing that physical quantity is also clear, hopefully. Yes or no? How we express a physical quantity and how we express a physical quantity is what has to be cleared by this time. Now, second question is, how many such physical quantities are there? How many such physical quantities are there in the universe? And most of you are answering it as 7, which is wrong. Infinity, very good. Many, very good. Infinity or many. In physics, each and everything is a physical object, physical quantity. Each and everything is a physical. Now, what is that we do? Since can we learn all the infinity things at one place at a time? Now, you all know that we have 100 days program. In this 100 days program, should we keep on learning only those infinity physical quantities? Infinity means what? Infinity means what? Infinity means not defined. There is no limit of such physical quantities. So, uncountable, very good. So since we will not be focusing only on one thing in the form of physical quantities, we have to extend the concept of physics. We have to introduce too many things. Accordingly, what is that scientists have done? Scientists have manipulated, scientists have rearranged that physical quantities in terms of some basic parts. That is what we call it as fundamental quantities. What is that? Fundamental. Or in physics, you may find very large number of. Yeah, who is this? Sir, can we measure gas? If yes, what is its unit? What is that you want to measure for gas, man? Whoever it is, Pranita. For a gas, Pranita, for a gas, what is it you want to measure? If you want to measure volume, it is in terms of liters. Volume. What is volume? Length into breadth into height, which is equals to meter cube. You can measure it, right? Yes or no? You can measure for volume also. Volume is length into breadth into height. If it is a solid body, we get that in terms of meter cube. If it is liquid, we take that in terms of liters or milliliters or cubic centimeters, cc, whatever it is. Gas measure in kgs. For gas, there are too many things. All of you get this. For a gas, you may have mass of the gas. For a gas, you may have volume of the gas. And for the same gas, if you have mass and volume, you'll also get density. Yes or no? That's what. So the point is clear now, right? For anything we can measure. But what is that you want to measure? Now, see this. This is what? What is this? A marker. For this marker, what is it I can measure? I can measure its length. I can measure its diameter. Yes or no? I can measure its mass. By knowing length, breadth and height, I can measure its volume. I know its mass. I know its volume. I can determine its density, because you should know that density is defined as mass by volume. If you know this, you can do that. Yes or no? It's not that for marker I can have only mass. For marker I can have only length. You can measure many things for this marker. Accordingly, like somebody who would ask, like, what is that you can measure for a gas? What is that you want to measure for any gas? That is important. Whether you want to measure mass or you want to measure volume, you want to measure anything else. How many moles are there in a gas? How many molecules are there in a gas? All that thing is also, everything is possible in physics. Fine. Right. Now we are there at what point? Because somebody asked some other question, I have to get back to this point. So we were talking about, yes, you can just concentrate. We were talking about there are infinity physical quantities in this entire world. Therefore, scientists have grouped some of those physical quantities in terms of fundamental quantities. Now, what you said 7 is correct for fundamental quantities. How many fundamental quantities are there? There are 7 fundamental quantities. What are they? Length, mass, time, current. Current is denoted by letter I. Temperature denoted by units. It is, I suppose, it is kelvins. and number of moles of a gas, and luminous intensity Lm. Luminous intensity. Now I'm just writing because of space problem. I'm just writing in a shortcut form. You can now understand. There, out of all the infinity number of physical quantities, physicists have grouped some of the quantities as the basic quantities. What are they? There are 7 basic or fundamental. One are same. They are length, mass, time, current, electricity, temperature, number of moles, and luminous intensity. Luminous intensity, which are going to have appropriate, every physical quantity would be having its appropriate unit also. What is the, now how many systems of units are there? 3 or 4 systems of units are there. As a standard form, we take one system of unit for all this, and that system what is being followed internationally is SI system, standard international system of international standard, that is SI. It is, this is an internationally followed system. By knowing one system of any quantity, you can convert from one system to the other system. Like I have given some examples in the previous questions, conversion from micrometer to millimeter, centimeter to kilometer, micro picoseconds to all that conversion factors, nothing but some change of numbers in terms of 10 powers. Conversion factors. Now you should know this basic part. Though we have infinity physical terms, we are not bothered all the infinity physical terms. There are 7 basic fundamental quantities. Basic quantity: length, mass, time, current, electricity, temperature, number of moles, and luminous intensity. Now, in this first year of physics, we would be concentrating only on these things more. This will also come, but to a lesser extent. It's not that we won't learn. You are going to learn all these things by the end of your 2 years of physics. Even we'll get many other quantities also. These are only fundamental quantities. Now, what is the meaning of fundamental quantities? As I said that we have length as for this body, for this marker, there is a length, there is a radius also. Now, by using this fundamental quantities, you can also express some other quantities. Those quantities are called as what? Derived quantities. We said infinity quantities are there, but this entire infinity physical quantities are coming under what category now? They do come under derived quantities. They do come under derived quantities, and derived quantities are those which are expressed by using fundamental quantities. Now I'll take one example. Area, simple example. Area is a derived quantity which is expressed in terms of length into breadth. Length is this one, breadth is also. Now how we express length in SI system? Length in SI system is expressed in terms of meters. How we express breadth in terms of SI system? Breadth is also expressed in terms of meters only. Means length is meters, breadth is also in meters. Accordingly, length into breadth gives rise to what? Length is one of the fundamental quantity. Only the side is changing. What is breadth means the other side of that particular body. That is in terms of again meters only. Meters into meters is called as meter square. Accordingly, area is expressed as the square of fundamental quantity length. Area is a derived quantity. What is derived quantity first? Derived quantity is that which can be expressed in terms of fundamental quantity. Now, how can I say that area is derived quantity? Area is a derived quantity because it can be expressed as the product of two lengths. Breadth is also length itself. Length is also length itself because both are measured in terms of meters only. Accordingly, length into length or length into gives length square. Area is expressing or depending on derived quantity is that which depends on fundamental quantities. Sanjana, right? Is that clear? Like that, in the universe, as there are infinity physical terms, physical quantities, out of all the infinity physical quantities, 7 are the base quantities. Remaining infinity minus 7 are those which are called as derived quantities. Which is derived from fundamental quantity, which is called as derived quantities. Now, measurement of 7 quantities is what you know. I'll explain that, Akshay, just wait a while. We just conclude this. Fundamental quantities are 7 in number. Now, this is the first thing where scientists have put forward it. Any other thing, volume, length cube, volume depending as length into breadth into height, derived quantity. Density, mass by volume. Mass is a fundamental quantity. Volume is length into length into length. Again it's a derived quantity. Derived quantities are those which depends on fundamental quantities. Velocity, displacement by time. Displacement is measured. Displacement is by short length. Length by time. Meters per second. Velocity. All other things. Now, except this 7, any other thing you take, you will get this derived quantity. There are infinity minus 7 physical quantities, derived quantities, and 7 basic quantities. This is the second point of fundamental and derived quantity. Derived quantities are 7 in number. Sorry, fundamental quantities are 7 in number, and derived quantities are depending on those fundamental quantities. Now, students are giving so many things like power, work, energy, length into area, like all these things. You should know. Yeah, Akshay Kumar, you want to answer this? Sir, is there anything which we can't measure? You can answer this. You can think and answer if you know. Is there anything which we can't measure? Unless or until it is an emotion, it is not possible. What is that? Chilies. Somebody answered chilies. Because of too many messages, are going in air, but I can't. Are going up. I can't check all the back. Feelings, universe, vacuum, spaces, sea mass. Mass of the sea, Manikanta. By knowing the dimensions, it is possible to calculate the mass also for the sea. What dimensions you should know? You should know how much is the length present, how much is the depth present for that sea. By knowing this, you can measure that. See, we were able to measure. See, measuring anything is everything is possible in physics. Measuring everything is possible in physics. It should be a physical quantity. First of all, get this point. Emotions is not a part of physics, right? It's a part of life. The sound has mass. What is sound? What is sound? Define sound. Sound is a vibration disturbance, or it's a disturbance created in the medium of the particles of the medium. It's a form of energy. Will energy have mass? Yes, it is possible to calculate. No, we are actually, see, you are extending this one to go to other side. I just want to address all these things later, because the class is now recording. Let me just focus on these parts first. That extended part we'll talk later. Fine, let's just focus on this. After this class, we'll discuss all that thing. Right? Just concentrate here. Like fundamental quantities, derived quantities are clear. And to express these fundamental and derived quantities, we make use of system of units. SI system, and you should know that length in SI system is measured in what? Meters. And I'm not sure whether how can you express this length is expressed in terms of meter, and we use symbols of that unit. Every unit will have some symbol with that symbol. What is symbol? Shortcut notation. There are certain rules to be followed by writing the symbols of units. This is a unit. This is a quantity. Length is the physical quantity of a object. Length, listen, concentrate. Length is the physical quantity, is the quantity of an object, how much present. Expressed in terms of meters in SI system. There are some other systems, centimeters, millimeters, all that. That is conversion factor, but meter is a unit of length. In which system? SI system. These units are expressed in terms of some symbols. These units are expressed in terms of symbols, and symbol of meter is simply m. Yes, all of you may not be knowing this but from now onwards as a physics student you should follow this. What is it? When I say 5 meters of length, if I write 5m, what does it mean? What does it mean? I cannot write this. Capital letters will not be used to write the symbol of meters. Meters symbol, just focus on this because you may be knowing the other physics part, but I'm not sure how many of you know this concept of writing the symbols of the units. If I say 5 meters, this is the way how I should write, and I should not even write like this also. This is standard notation what we follow. You are not supposed to write even like this also. 5 meters with a full stop is also not right. Symbol of a unit is not accompanied by full stop or comma. It should be left like that. Only this is the right way of writing a measured value. Only m it is. Only m it is. A point clear? Is this point clear? Is this point clear? And when we use capital letters, we use capital letters if we are talking about only units here. Remember, we are talking about the symbol of units. Symbol of unit, first point is that mostly they take the first letter of that unit, that too in the form of a small letter only. Mostly the symbol of a unit is going to be followed by the first letter in the form of small letter only, not followed by the full stop. It should not be followed by the full stop. And sometimes we use this as capital letter if that symbol is the name of a scientist. If the unit of any quantity is taken from the name of the scientist, then that symbol has to be taken in the form of capital letter. If the unit of a physical quantity is the name of the scientist. Say I'm mixing up too many things. You should have your focus here. I am talking about a physical quantity length measured in terms of meters, expressed with the symbol m, and generally any symbol would be small letter only without having a decimal point after that number. Now if I say 5 seconds, 5s, finished, no dot, not 5 capital S, wrong, dot, wrong, 5 seconds, 5 seconds. Most of the cases, symbols are the first word of that unit, and never we use a capital letter for that unit unless or until it is the name of a scientist. Any example? Any example? Any example for the name of the scientist? Yes. Force is expressed in terms of Newton. And if you want to express 5 newtons, you should say that 5 capital N, it is not followed by full stop. Or if you want to express temperatures, 10 Kelvin. If you want to express resistance, 10 ohms. Ampere, ohms, volts, Pascal. Pascal, PA it is. First 2 letters, pascals. Hertz, watt. Watt, yeah, watt is also the name of the scientist itself. Capital W we use for that. Hertz. Is the point clear? Are my intentions clear? What I'm trying to tell you? Sometimes we write small s. No, generally when you are writing problems, what you people do is that if I ask you a problem to solve, what you people do, for example, if I'm asking you to find velocity of a body, what you people do after getting your answer, you got your answer, let us suppose you got your answer to be 10, you should write its units appropriately. Now, from here onwards, from today onwards, if I ask any question and if you say that question's answer without unit, your answer is simply considered as wrong. You get the right number, 10 is right, and I ask you to find velocity. Now if I say velocity for 10, you should definitely say meters per second. If you simply say 10, that is means you got 0 there. It is wrong. Or if you say 10, you got the right answer and you express it like this, 10 m by s, again it is wrong. Again it is going to be wrong. You say you got 10 and you write that capital small m by capital S, again this is wrong. And again you say 10 m by s with a full stop, again it is wrong. See, these many things are there, you should follow, because physicists, we are not simply learning physics in the form of by-hearting nature. We are learning physics now. It's not that randomly we are learning something. No, known is one thing. See, that's what I told you. Learn. Now everybody knows what is measurement. Everybody knows what is measurement. Everybody knows this is 15 centimeters. But only physicists will know how to express that 15 centimeters. Now, how can I? If a person is not a physicist and if you want to express 15, he may say 15 capital C small m. If one person measures something and says that he got 15 centimeters like this, now he is not a physicist. He knows measurement, but he is not a physicist. And if he says 15 capital C capital M, he is not a physicist. Clear now what I'm trying to tell you? It's 15, simply 15 centimeters. It's not even this is right. Sometimes in a hurry manner we do this. No. My intention here is to make you understand how are we using physics also. Not that simply we learn and we leave it. This is more important. Learning physics is easy, but expressing everything in physics is really difficult. You should follow that continuously. You should follow this. So right from today, you should know this. The name of the scientist is being given by the capital letters. For what it is capital letter, unit. If the unit is the name of the scientist, then its symbol is going to be the capital letters. Or if you want to write Newton, you can say 15 Newton either like this, or you can also say 15 Newton. Again here, N is not capital. This is right. N should not be capital. Yeah, Ampere is the name of the scientist. A is what you use. Is that clear? Is that clear? If you want to express 15 newtons, it is 15 capital N or 15 all the full name with all small letters. Both are right. Not followed by decimal. Hertz is the name of the scientist Akshay. Hertz, he's a scientist only. Look, so earlier, listen, just let me, I don't know how much is the time, let me just check out. Yeah, 12:10 it is. Now, it was 7 fundamental quantities and infinity minus 7 derived quantities, or minus 7 in front of infinity is nothing. So you can say infinity derived quantities. There are 7 fundamental quantities and infinity derived quantities. All these derived quantities can be expressed. This is only in terms of those 7 quantities. So listen, I'm telling you. We have those 7 quantities in the first basic semester part of physics in RGKT. We are interested about LMT more than any other things. Current we talk about later. Kelvin, temperature we talk about later. Number of moles we talk about later. Luminous intensity also we talk about later. I mean, all these things would be in secondary part of physics. Under the primary part, we focus on these things. What are they? Measurement of length, measurement of mass, and measurement of time. Apart from that, this is one more important thing what I want to talk, because most of the students were asking me. So that is what measurement of length, mass, and time is what we are going to focus from here on. For this chapter, or in simple words, in this chapter, we will be focusing on these things more. Remaining things you learn in your higher standards or coming up chapters. Some new students are now requesting it is not possible to make them join. We can join them at a later stage, right? After this class. So now let me just talk about these things. Concentrate again. Plane angle and solid angle. Apart from these fundamental quantities, there are also 2 more quantities which are now taken as dimensionless quantities. We'll talk about these dimensions a little later. Just listen this. What do you mean by dimensionless quantities? First of all, dimensionless. What is dimensionless? Anything, if it is a ratio of 2 same things. Yeah, anything, if it is a ratio of two same things, means ratio means divided by, right? Numerator and denominator, no units. Numerator and denominator having no LMT, that is also right. That is also right. Right, very good. M0, L0, T0, Titan. S into R. Titan in the middle. That's fine. I'll talk later. Clear? Apart from these 7 basic quantities, 2 of the dimensionless quantities are also been placed here and they have been regarded as supplementary quantities. Means these are also useful in studying different things. What those two things are? They are solid angle and the plane angle. They are simply in the form of what? Solid angle and the plane angle. Apart from 7 fundamental quantities in physics, we have 2 more supplementary quantities which are dimensionless quantities, which are the ratios of 2 same parameters. What all the things you present in the numerator, same thing is existing in the denominator. It is length by length, breadth by breadth, because both are having same things, time by time. These things, ratios will give rise to some kind of dimensionless quantities. Those are 2 in number. What are they? They are called as plane angle and the other thing is called as solid angle. Let me just brief up what these 2 definitions are, because most of the students are confused in these definitions. Let me just brief up. Angle is really the angle. Usually, how do we denote angle? How we denote angle? Usually, or angles by means of theta. Angle theta is equals to, from mathematical definition, you can say that angle theta is equal, right? Angle theta is equals to, angle is equals to arc by radius, because earlier some of you answered me in my previous meeting. I asked you what is angle. Angle is equals to arc by radius. What do you mean by arc and what do you mean by radius? Plenty of things are the radius means it should have a fixed center. From fixed center to some other location, there is some kind of, now this is a fixed center. This object will keeps on moving like this. When you make this one fixed one, this particular thing, whatever we get, we call it as the radius. And if you complete this one, it is now going to form a complete circle. To have a complete circle, from the center, we will be having a fixed radius like this. Now this is a circle. We know what is circle, we all know, right? Circle is what which is going to have a radius. Remember first thing, radius is a fixed one. It will not be called as a radius. Center of the circle should be fixed to have that circle to be maintained. If you want that circle to be maintained, center has to be fixed. Sometimes center will also move, then that will not be regarded as circle. Circle is that whose center is fixed and the other end of that length will making some kind of rotations or will move in the form of a closed path, in the form of a circumference of a circle. Then we call that as this part with what the circle is, the center of that circle is called as radius. This radius is fixed. Now upon this circle, any small part you consider, if you cut any part like this, you're able to see the video, right? If you put any part of this one, then this is called as the arc. What is this called as? Arc. Now I have cut this part. Now I can connect these 2 things also in the circle. If this is radius, this will also be radius only, because anything whatever you take here, you take here, you take anywhere you take, because radius of a circle is fixed. All these things are called as radius only. Now this is another arc. This is another arc. Arc like that. Actually, why are we using this one? There are plenty of things. I don't know how to introduce these things to you. What is that actually? Say in physics, after learning about measurement, we talk about the motion of a body. What do you mean by motion of a body? What do you mean by body? Physical object it is. Yeah, I'll talk about radiance later. What is motion of a body? Oh no, the thing is, what was the essence of introducing angles? Straight, simple question. Most of you think that you know some physics, because you know measurements and all, these things and all, since you're able to solve problems and all. I'll just ask you one question. What was the essence? What was the requirement? Why is it needed to introduce plane angle and solid angle? What was the essence of introducing this? What was the requirement to introduce this? Any answer can I expect from you? Movement, dimensionless, finding angle. No. Diameter of the earth, triangle, large distance. No. All these things are there, but let me just brief. Okay, let me just now tell you. In physics, okay, that's fine. You can just now concentrate. Distance vector, rotation, right. Listen. Stop typing and listen. First of all, what do you mean by motion of a body? What do you mean by motion of a body? Motion of a body means change of position from one place to other place. If a body is in motion, what happens? If a body starts moving from A, if it is in motion from A, what happens? For different time intervals, body would be at different locations. Initially, at some time it is at A, but after some time it is at some other location. After 5 seconds, 10 seconds, it would be now reaching. Now, during some change of time interval we cannot stop. Now, I have started my class at 11:30. Now it is 12:15. The thing what we cannot stop is that time. So time will keeps on changing. If as per the change of time, if body also changing its position, then the body is said to be in motion. Then how to define rest? If you have a body, if you have motion, then you also have rest. What do you mean by rest? Now try to define these two. Try to define these two. Motion and rest. Motion and rest. Motion of a body will indicate the change in its position in between two time intervals. Let us not introduce full physics here. Let us just talk about the outline part. Force is not still introduced to us. Let us introduce force later. Without using the word force, try to answer this. Without using the word force, try to answer this. Yeah. If a body is at different locations at a different time intervals, then it is possible only if it is in motion. If a body is at same location, even for any time interval, then the body is at rest. Is the concept clear? Simple thing. If a body is at different locations at different time intervals, then it is possible only if it is in motion. If a body is at same location, even for any change of time interval, at 10 o'clock it is here. At 10 o'clock this is here. At 11 o'clock this is here. At 12 o'clock this is here. At night 10 o'clock again it is here only. Then what happens? Time is changing, but position of the body is not changing. Therefore, it is now said to be in a what position? See. That's what I say. That's what I tell you. Expressing in physics language is equally important. Anybody can say what do you mean by rest. Anybody can say what do you mean by motion. But how physicists will explain that? How physicists will say this one? Physicists will say like this. If a body undergoes a change in its position for changes of time intervals, then the body is said to be in motion. Whereas if a body is at same location, even for the change of any time interval, then the body is said to be at rest position. Simple things, right? See, we know simple things. We can tell them in simple forms also, but real physicist is that who express that in real physics language. No one can be a real physics. No, we are learning physics, so we express that in terms of physics. Not that everyone in the universe is learning physics. So they have some other methodologies to express that. Who expresses like this are the real physicists, whatever it is. So the point is clear, right? So now, why are we talking about rest and motion now? Say, I am making this duster to move from here to here. Or let us say that this is our home, this is our college. We start, we move and go to college. We undergo motion and to go to college. Again from college, we undergo change of positions and again come back to home. How are you able to do this one? Now in between these two, I can say how much is the distance traveled, like maybe 10 meters or 10 kilometers, whatever it is. How can I measure the distance between these two? Final position minus initial position gives the netted displacement or distance traveled between these two. Right? See, there is one important point here. Don't mess up the things. Important point here is, I'm just coming to this point now. Important point here is that this body, what is in motion, is not having any fixed position. It is not fixed to this location. Or a simple thing. For every 5 seconds, it is now undergoing a change of seconds. 0 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 20 seconds. For different changes of times, it is at different locations. Why it is able to move from A to B? Because it is not fixed. Or we can express the displacement of the body by talking about a change in position of the body. This kind of motion is what we call it as the one-dimensional motion. Body is undergoing a change only along one axis. Now this line is straight line path. That is called as one-dimensional motion. That is called as one-dimensional motion. Now the question is, will any body always move only in one direction? Do all the bodies move only in one direction every time? Is that for us? No, we go somewhere. Do we always travel in only one direction? Going in one direction is what one-dimensional is. Somebody asked me, we say power is what dimension? I say one more dimension. There are two kinds of things we use for dimension. One is with respect to dimensional formula, which we come to in this chapter a little later. But before that, when we see, physics deals with the motion of the body, first of all. Physics deals with, under mechanics part, physics deals with motion of the body. For a body, how many kinds of motions are possible? In how many ways a body can move? Simple question. It can move in many ways. Straight line path, zigzag motion, circular path, it can go in different paths. Again, infinity, simply. How can you move from college to home? Either you can travel like this, hopefully you can see the video. How can you travel from campus, college to home? You can travel like this, or you go like this also. Go to nearby bakery, have some snacks, go to nearby theater, have a movie, go to nearby park, enjoy with your friends, not the other way. Again, come back to some other location, go to your dad's office, go to mother's office, go to friend's house. In how many ways you are moving now? You are moving in infinity ways. Zigzag. Or some students will keep, hopefully you are getting my point. Because there are, in between two locations, we can make infinity possible ways to move from one place to the other place. All these things are possible. Or this is one, no, my point is, we have infinity ways possible. How many physical quantities we have in the beginning part? Physical quantities, not quantities. Infinity. Infinity, right? How many kinds of different paths possible? Infinity. But can we talk about all the infinity paths at a time? Can we learn about all the infinity paths at a time? No. So how to learn this path followed by the body? We again say there are three different branches to talk about this one. We talk about linear motion. We talk about circular motion. We talk about oscillatory motion. In this semester itself, we are going to introduce these things. There are infinity types of motions possible. We are not bothered about all the infinity types of motions. We are bothered about three important kinds. What are they? We talk about linear, circular, oscillatory. The other name of linear is rectilinear, as Pooja said. The other name of linear is rectilinear. The other name of circular is rotatory. The other name of oscillatory is vibratory. We talk about the motion of a body in terms of three different paths. Though infinity are there, we talk about what is this curvilinear motion, translatory, linear, both are same. Curvilinear means what? Rekha. What kind of path it is? Fine. Anyways, let us not go ahead with the other parts. Now listen, important point I want to tell you. So we are interested about the motion of a body, but remember, motion of a body is possible in three important ways. It is, though it is infinitely possible, we are talking about three important kinds again. Many paths are there, but we are bothered about how many parts? Only three. What are they? Linear, circular, and oscillatory. In linear, what is happening? Body is traveling only from A to B. It will not come back to A. Body is traveling from A to B. It is one-way path. It is not coming back to A. But what are other two paths? Circular paths. Body starts from one location. After some time, it comes back to same path. After some time, it comes back to same path. After some time, it comes back to same path. The path is going to repetitive. This is a non-repetitive path. This is the these two are the repetitive paths. It has to come back to the same position again and again. So when moving in the repetitive path, the question is, listen the question. Stop about other parts. Listen the question. If a body is following a repetitive path, how we express the displacement of the body? If a body, listen, try to answer this, try to answer my question. If a body is undergoing a repetitive path, this is a non-repetitive path, right? Linear motion A to B. Linear motion AB to is not repetitive path. You are talking about the net displacement to be zero. Some of you answered it as zero. Zero for what? For one complete circular path, right? If a body starts at A, for one complete circle, net displacement is zero, as you all people answered. But my question is not that. My question is not that. Yeah, you got now. Somebody answered 2 pi radians per meter. My question is 2 pi r. Okay. My question is, if a body moves from A to B, I'm showing you here. Check this. I'm showing you here. If a body moves from A to B, what is the displacement of the particle? If a body moves from A to B, if the body is moving from A to B here in a linear path, what is the displacement? Final position minus initial position. If a body moves from A to B, what is the displacement now? Now, this is what the displacement is, right? Shortest straight line path. Now, what is the magnitude of this? That's what I'm asking you. Why did I come to this location, this point? Why we are talking about this part now? From where we have gone to this one, we are actually wanted to learn about plane angle and solid angle. From here, we have come to this location. What is the relation between these two? Think now. Think now. Now the answer is, you are not getting the screen. Is it same for all? Is it same for all? Screen is not visible. No, you're able to see, right? Signal issues with you then. Visible, right? That's good. That's good. That's good. Listen, I focus now. Since we want to talk about plane angle and solid angle, we are now talking about, now to talk about this displacement from A to B, the best way is to talk about the angle shown here. Generally, we use the change of positions in terms of meters or centimeters to talk about the change of position in linear motion. In linear motion, we use this change of length in terms of centimeters or meters, whatever it is. But in terms of circular motion, to express the displacement of a particle along the circular motion, the best way to say how much it has moved is the angle enclosed by the final location with respect to the reference position. This angle is what we call it as the angle. This angle is a point clear? Simple thing is, to talk about this displacement of the particle undergoing circular motion, to talk about a body is here, it is moving like this. To talk about the displacement of the particle undergoing circular motion, the best way to express this displacement is the angle enclosed here. Means this is a standard reference system. This line is what indicating 0 or positive x-axis. Now, if I say 0 degrees, body is aligning like this. If I say 1 degree, body should be somewhere here. If I say 90 degrees, where would be the body now? If I say I have located A, B, C, D, you can simply answer. If I say 90 degrees, it is here. If I say 270 degrees, D. Ankuna C antaran, C kaadu, D. From here, this is the starting point is equally important. This is 0. This is 90, 180, 270, 360. Now, here the concept is we make use of the angle to express how much displacement the body is undergoing along the circular path. If I say 271 degree, it should be somewhere here. If I say 359 degree, it should be somewhere here. Means how much it has traveled is appropriately expressed by this angle. This was the essence to talk about plane angle and solid angle. What was the essence? My question was the same thing, right? What was the essence of introducing these things? What was the essence of introducing these things? Plane angle is very much needed because when you want to talk about the change of position of a circular path, we make use of the angles to express the displacement, and such kind of angles are called as angular displacements. What are they called as? These are called as linear displacement. These are called as linear displacements, and the displacement undergone by a body along the circular path is called as angular displacements. To talk about this angular displacement, we use one parameter called as the plane angle. Hopefully the point is clear now. The point clear? What was the essence of angles? To talk about the motion of a body which is undergoing circular motion, the best way to talk about the displacement of body is by making use of the angles. Each and every, now 0 degrees means this would be here only. 1 degree means here, 2 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees, 90 degrees. If I say body undergoing 60 degrees, you can now imagine the body to be somewhere here. Or 90 degrees, 120 degrees, 150 degrees, 180 degrees. Now, angles will indicate how much is the change of position taking place along this one. Sir, if bus is in motion and passengers are moving or rest, what is the passenger positions? We'll talk about all these things in the coming up chapters, Akshay. Because talking like this will make up all the things to come together without any clarity. What we do is that we go one by one, not to worry. Right? We'll introduce all the topics by chapter, then you'll understand all the things. We should talk about motion, we talk about inertia. What all the question you asked is the concept of inertia. We'll understand that once we start the other parts of physics. Just wait for a while. Yeah. Now, dimensionless, Tartipalli, I'm coming to that. Just listen. Now we say that to express this arc length, we make use of the angle. Now, how many different sizes of arcs are there? Now we say different angles, we should have some standard angle, right? Standard reference should be there, right? Plane angle is that standard angle where these two sizes are taken to be same. Which two sizes are taken to be same? If a body is moving along the circular path, this is its initial location, this is its radius r. Now, this size is not same as that of this r. This arc size is not same that of this one. This arc size is also not same that of this arc. Different angles will have different locations. Now we want one standard form. For length, this much is, some size is taken as one standard form, 1 meter. Some prototype of mass is taken as 1 kg. That is for comparison. Standard forms are, some values are given and we compare our measurements with respect to that values. Now, to talk about plane angle, what is the standard form taken is that how much is the radius you have, that much of arc length size should be taken. If this is 5 centimeters, this arc length should also be 5 centimeters. And if these two are of the same sizes, the angle enclosed in these two things is what we call it as plane angle. what is called as plane angle. If the size of the arc and size of the radius, the ratio of these two things is what we call it as plane angle. Arc length, we know generally theta is equals to arc length by any length by one fixed radius. Arc length can be any values generally. Arc length can be any value. Simple thing, simply it is something like this. Arc length can be this much. 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 Are all same size or different sizes? Are all these arc lengths are same or different sizes? All are different sizes. Now we are going to get different angles. For different sizes, arc length would change, radius would remain same. Different arc lengths by fixed radius will have different angles. Now, which one we are calling it as plane angle? There is only one possible way, that equal size of the arc length, which is same as it is the radius. How much R value you have, same value of arc length should be there. The ratio of these two things is called as plane angle. Remaining all the things are called as what? Simple. Different arc lengths by radius is called as different angles. But what is plane angle now? See, angle and plane angle are one and the same, which is angle, this is angle, this is plane angle. Both are one and the same with only one small difference. What is that? This angle will have different arc lengths, fixed radius. But plane angle is what? Plane angle will be having that arc which is whose size is, whose magnitude is same as that of the radius size. If these two are same, then it is called as plane angle. If these two are different, then it is simply called as the angle. Arc length size should be same as that of the radius. Then only, since these are same, those dimensions get cancels. That angle is what we call it as 1 radian. The SI unit of angle is radians. SI unit of angle is what? SI unit of length is meters. SI unit of mass is kgs. SI unit of time is seconds. Accordingly, SI unit of, or the angle is measured in terms of what? Radians. This is about plane angle. It's a simple thing only. Different arcs by fixed radius gives angles, but same size of the arc by same radius gives rise to plane angle. And one more thing, one important thing, solid angle. Why should we take only one? This is the case of what generally non-extended body. What is non-extended body? Some kind of a point object, minute, that fine, minute. Sir, then always we get value of 1, is not it? Angle will always not be 1. Standard form is 1. Standard form is, yes. By taking same arc size and same radius, what all the angle you'll get is termed as 1 radian. Is termed as 1 radian. Now, what do you mean by 2 radians? That is in terms of degrees. Degrees is something again 360. In one complete circle, you are going to have 360 degrees. Is that clear? In one complete circle, we have Sahitya, Aparge Vastuna Namma. What is the difference in small? Now, just concentrate on this. Let us conclude the session now because time is getting delayed. Now we have talked about some kind of a circle, only circle present. Now take something like a football called as a sphere. Football, sphere, ball cells kadamma. We have spheres, footballs. We have football. Football is some kind of extended case of a circular path only. Circular path will be having only one thing like this, but football is covered in all the sides. Now, for some kind of a sphere, if you got some part, do I get some kind of a thing like this? Let a part cut just a sphere nunchi football lo part cut chesaru. Yes, I'm sorry. You have cut some part of a football. What kind of thing you are going to get? You are going to get some kind of a curved surface like this. You get some kind of a curved surface which is going to like not exactly straight line, like it is going to be something like this, right? Now this is some part of a sphere. This is a curved surface of a sphere which is actually cut from where? cut from some center of a sphere. There is some center for this sphere, right? From where this part has been cut, if you just imagine this part, cut some part of the sphere. If you cut any football or plastic ball, some part of the area, you're going to get some curved path. Now, in that way, listen, simple thing. In that way, how many different sizes of these things you can cut from a sphere? Because now this is what we call the extended body. How many different sizes you can cut? You can cut only small part like this. You can able to see, right? Yeah. You can cut some small part from a sphere, some bigger part, some more bigger part, some different parts can be cut in this. Is the area of all these three same? I'm cutting one football in different sizes. Is all the thing will have same area with that? Obviously, all this will have different areas. But all these are made from the same center. Yes or no? All these are cut from the same sphere. Yes or no? All these are cut from the same sphere. Now, let me say this has got a radius of 1 meter. This sphere will be having some radius with it. Yes or no? Sphere will have a radius of 1 meter. This sphere is also having a radius of 1 meter. This sphere is also having a radius of 1 meter. Now, area, this area is different. This area is different. This, so I can make some kind of an area which is less than, if I take area, radius should also be to be squared. Area means what? Length into length, width into width, or pi r square. So for a sphere, area is given by means of what? 4 pi r square. If r is the radius of the sphere, then its area is going to be given by means of 4 pi r square. If you take this area divided by the radius square, area by radius square. Earlier it was simply arc length by radius. It was single factor. Now it is two factors. Area by radius square. Solid angle is defined like this. Solid angle is equals to area by radius square. Are these two dimensions same? Area of a sphere is 4 pi r square. Area of a sphere is 4 pi r square by radius square is r square. Now, again, the similar form of what you have learned is previously, areas can be different sizes. Areas can be different sizes. If you choose that area whose magnitude is same as that of the radius square, I have shown different sizes, right? One is less than, one sphere is, this area is less than the square of radius. Maybe this is same as the square of radius. This is more than the square of the radius. Now you have different things. You may, this is the area and you divide this by r square, by r square, by r square. Which one is called a solid? Now these are all different solid angles, different cases. Out of all this, we have to choose one as a standard form. Which one we take as a standard form? We take that as a standard form whose area is 4 pi r square, that of the same radius square. Upon this one, when you cut this parts, you're going to get and 4 pi, which is now expressed in terms of what? Steradians. Solid angle is expressed in terms of steradians. See, define like this. We define it like this. I'll just define it, not to worry. 4 pi steradians denoted by SR. SR indicates steradians. RAD indicate radians. Radians is the angle of plane, is a unit of plane angle. Other units are degradients and degrees. Likewise, MKSSA system we have for LMT. For this also 3 different names are there. One unit is radian, one unit is degree, one unit is gradients. Whereas solid angle is having a unit given by means of what? Is having a unit given by means of steradians. We have listen, I'm repeating. We have different areas. First of all, solid angle is defined as the area enclosed by some part of a sphere. This is some part of a sphere what has been cut from one radius. Now, if you take from where this is actually formed, this is formed from some common radius. All these parts will have same radius with that, yes or no? Because you are cutting from some part of a sphere. This is the cut part of a sphere. Clear? This is the cut part of it. We are cutting some football, you get some part. But the four edges of this are made from the common center because all are connected to same football, yes or no? Now when extend this one, with what condition? With condition that this area, what all the dimension having in this area should be same as that of 4 pi r square. If the area of the cut part of the sphere is same as it of the sphere, all are same. This radius, this is also radius, this is also radius, this is also radius, because all are cut from the same sphere. If the area of this curved path is same as that of the radius square, then the ratios of these two things is called as 4 pi steradians. Area is 4 pi, this part area is 4 pi r square divided by the radius square. 4 pi r square by radius square is r square, will get cancelled. What is remaining now? 4 pi. Under this factor, it is called as 4 pi steradians. Now, if I say 8 pi steradians, what does it mean? If I say 8 pi steradians, what does it mean? If I say 8 pi steradians, double the, now I have taken three different parts, right? This is small, a bigger part, some more bigger part, some other bigger part. If this is, let me suppose this is 4 pi, this is 4 pi r square by r square, 4 pi steradians. If I take smaller size, you'll get less than 4 pi steradians. If you take double size of this one, you're going to get 8 pi steradians. If you take 4 times of that, you're going to get 16. Means in one solid angle, you're going to have 4 pi steradians. In one solid angle, you're going to have 8 pi steradians. Two pieces of football is 8 pi steradians. Very good. So is the concept clear? In one solid angle, we are going to have 4 pi steradians. That is the thing what you need to understand. Now somebody asked, like if you take some other part, you are going to get a cone. Cone, the other surface is nothing but spherical surface only. Whoever asked it, just learn this. If you extend this a bigger one, this is again having some other radius, some other area. Again given by 4 pi r square only, but not same as the radius. You are going to get lesser than 4 pi steradians. Yes or no? The point clear? Plane angle is meant for only ordinary circle, whereas solid angle is meant for the sphere. And in a sphere, the standard form of solid angle is measured in terms of steradians, whereas one solid angle will be expressed in terms of 4 pi steradians. Units of solid angle is steradians. And standard form of that one unit, one steradian is what? One steradian is equals to 4. In what you want this value of one steradian? Sanjana, what is the value of one steradian? Means what? I not understand your question. That is a unit like radian and degrees. Yeah. Steradian is a unit which is same as that of degree is in SI. Listen like this, understand like this. In SI system, in terms of what? In terms of radians you want, by 4 pi you should do. Like for example, if you have 1 radian, dividing this with 4 pi, you are going to get that in terms of steradians, because 1 steradian is equals to 4 pi radians. Not exactly 4 pi radians, but one is in terms of, see, listen, both are different things actually. Are not, don't try to combine these things. Steradian is talking about sphere. Who's used steradian? This is different. And circular path is talking about radian, which is expressed in terms of radians. Now you are asking, is that any relation between these two? Both are different objects. Both are different objects. I don't think there is some kind of relation between these two, because one is radians, other is steradian. Both are different units. or we can just Google it for a while to check out whether it is any relation is there or not. We can just cross check that in our next class. Fine. How much is the time? Yeah, we have 1 o'clock it is. That's fine. Okay, then what I'll do is I'll just wind up today's class here. Hopefully I have focused on all the things what are needed for you as of now. In the previous 2 videos, what is being given, I think I have discussed all those important points what you need to understand, because most of you have many doubts regarding this. I just want to address those doubts in this way. Hopefully I have done my part. We'll be getting too many things. This is just the beginning of. So I'll be just winding up my recording part here so that we can have general discussion and we continue our class tomorrow. Tomorrow class is at 11:30, right? Sorry, 10:30. Wait a while.